So welcome everybody. My name is Hannah Studley. I'm an author, a coach, and I speak at conferences. And I usually talk about chronic pain, but my next book is all about hormones. It's called Very Well, and I'm very proud to announce its publication. And whilst I was doing the research for my book, I came across my guest here today, Jennifer. We met in a Facebook group. I want to introduce her because as I started to tell her about the ideas that I share with my clients, she started to have some really great insights. So Jennifer, tell us a little bit about what your experience was like before. What brought you to look for support in your journey with your hormones?
Well, I had come to a place where I actually thought I was going through perimenopause. My cycles were completely off, and my moods were to a point that I was having a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. It was affecting everything, my work, my relationships, and you know, I had been to therapy before, and it just seemed like it didn't help. Digging into the past did not help at all. I had actually gotten to a place where I was even trying to drink my sorrows away. It was just a really depressing day-to-day life, no quality of life. And so I knew that I felt like I'd always had the PMDD. And so I got on Facebook and, you know, got in that group that it would help me at least to hear other people discuss their issues with feel so alone.
So tell us, because some of the listeners might not know what PMDD is. What does that stand for? What is going on with you when you have that diagnosis?
It stands for premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and basically it's the only way I know how to explain it. It would be like PMS on steroids, and it lasts longer. It's just a lot more severe.
What was your monthly cycle experience like?
Basically, from mid-cycle, it had gotten to where it was from mid-cycle all the way to where I would actually start. That 2 weeks was horrible. Every day was, I would be in bed a lot, and it was very difficult to function.
Can imagine. So did you find any help from the doctor or any of these groups? Was anything helpful to you?
At first it was helpful to listen to other people on the group talk about their issues, but the longer that I was on there, the more I realized that, you know, it was a lot of complaining, but not a whole lot of action, not a whole lot of help, actual help.
Right.
Yeah. I went to be a so-called specialist. I drove an hour and a half to find one, and they basically told me that I needed to probably go see a psychiatrist so I could get on some more medicine.
Oh no. Right. So when I joined the group and I met you, I don't remember now, did I post something or offer something? I can't remember how we actually started connecting. Do you remember?
Yeah, I believe that I had commented on someone else's post, maybe, or either that or I had posted something.
Right.
And you made a comment to me, but it was really simple. I think you asked a question.
Right.
And it was enough to make me think, I don't remember what you asked now.
Right.
But it was made me curious. And so I responded to you, and then we just started talking after that.
Right. And I mean, it was very helpful to me because as I was writing the book, you know, the book is about 3 women, a mother and 2 daughters. And between the 3 of them, they kind of cover PMS, PMDD, like you were saying, postpartum depression and menopause. Pretty much all the cycles or the experiences that women go through with hormones. So I think at that point I was really looking for help to get, you know, personal experiences with this. So what you shared with me was really helpful. And so I then asked you if you would read a copy of the manuscript. So tell me what it was like to read the story from the point of view of fiction, and listening to these characters go through similar things to what you've gone through.
It was very insightful, and it was fiction, so it was fun to read, but there were so many things in the book that were actual scientific facts as well. And it gave me a lot of understanding about where this all came from, as far as the idea of we're flawed, as women,
right?
Because we do have these hormone swings,
right?
And I just thought it was a really neat way of presenting what you did with basically saying that, yeah, we have the hormone swings, and yes, it's true, it's a fact, it's real, but how we think about it determines how we function through that.
Right. And that was one of the things that really came out of the research I did, that often there isn't something wrong with the hormones. Like when I was in my 20s and 30s, I would say things like, oh, my hormones are out of whack this month, or, something's malfunctioning, or excuse me, because I'm just going crazy this month, it's the time of the month and all that stuff. And the research showed that there wasn't actually anything different in the hormone levels of women with diagnoses like PMDD, like you had, or even postpartum and menopause. What's happening is very natural and very normal. We all have a fluctuation. That's why they call it a cycle. But I think for those of us who are having a very difficult reaction, the scientists, the researchers noticed that there was a history of maybe abuse or trauma, maybe some kind of prolonged stressful thinking that has gotten the nervous system to be very overreactive to like even a fluctuation in hormones. So it was very interesting to see that and put that information into the book to be helpful. So what happened next? Like what was your experience when you started understanding how this is working?
It's just really amazing how it's literally changed my whole life, and every part of it, physically, my cycles have gone back to normal.
Wow.
It's amazing, because that changed. For months it had changed, and now it's like back to normal every month. Wow. And I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't have a few days sometimes before that are kind of, I feel a little edgy or whatever, but it's totally different now. And it's also changed how I react in just day-to-day relationships. How I respond. I just don't respond. Basically, just how I think is completely different. I think not overreacting, not necessarily even reacting to these thoughts and feelings that we have is what's mainly changed. And, not taking it personal every time something is said or done.
Right, and so what amazes me about that, I mean, I'm so happy for you, and I'm sure your family too, is that we didn't work on anything. A lot of this came from you reading my book, and just some of our interactions on WhatsApp, messages. And that's the amazing message I'm trying to give over to people, that a lot of my stuff, I mean, I had a terrible time with menopause, and I had the brain fog and the night sweats and the hot flushes. Like you said, it was really hard to function. And just by understanding how the mind works and how experience is created, all of that went away, like you. So if it can happen for the both of us and several other women I've now been introducing these ideas to, I'm so excited to see it, work for other people, other women, because so many women are suffering and they're not getting the right information, or they're getting bits of information, and then we stay scared, and that's just like not helping the nervous system calm down. So I'm so happy and I feel very lucky to have met you and to see see it actually happening in somebody else, not just my own experience. So I'm really excited, for the book to come out and for other women to read this. So is there anything you would like to just finish by encouraging other women? What would you tell them to encourage them to look at this and see how it could be different?
I would love to just say that the book is a great way to kind of get your mind off your own stuff and read what it could be like. I think reading the book would be very helpful for anyone who struggles with PMDD, PMS, going through menopause. We tend to want to blame a lot of our moods on the cycle, that we have. Mm-hmm. It's just a great way for even young girls that are just beginning their cycle and struggling with the ups and downs. Parents of teenage girls, that are going through that. Mm-hmm. Even men, to be honest, I think would benefit from reading this book, because, have women around them in their lives that they're watching. Oh my gosh, this is, I have what's going on here. Mm-hmm. It would give them some insight on, what we're dealing with. Yeah, it's just a really good book. I would encourage anyone to read it.
Thank you. Well, I really want to thank you for your time and for your honesty and coming today and sharing with us your experience. It's really is an honor to share some time with you, and to I really appreciate sharing your story with us. So the book is now out on Amazon. It's called Very Well, and I also have a YouTube channel where there's lots of videos you can learn more about the work that I do. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your feedback from reading the book. So be well, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.